Well, hey, what's up, guys? It's time for the digital huddle today, and I'm excited because today we are going to talk about longevity and staying rooted and planted in a place and seeing the benefits of that. And today I have someone that's just so special to our church here at GC. Him and his family are special here, and it is one of our coaches for the parking team, someone who's been here forever. You ready? It's Josh Brown. Everyone get loud for Josh Brown. Josh, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing awesome.
It's so good to see you. It's good to see that map behind you. You look so educated right now with that. I got Disney, and that does not make me feel the same. Well, it's good to see you, man. Listen, let's talk about longevity because you have been here for a good long time here at Generation. So, how long have you been here?
Oh boy. See, my wife is usually the one who's really good with all the dates and all that other stuff. I can tell you this: Noah was in a stroller. Um,
Okay,
I think Noah's in a stroller, so long time,
that's a
and he's
long time.
so.
Yeah, he's full grown now. He's serving at kids camp right this second as we speak. But
Yep.
um,
GC was very new. I'll say that, and it was back at not just the old campus, but the school when we were in the school. So
that's amazing. I love that. Have you ever worked on served at other teams? I know you're on the parking team now. You're doing a lot of that, but what other teams have you served at?
at Generation, I dabbled a little bit for like a second, doing the soundboard and some of the things like that in tech, which is something I had done before. But it's really pretty much just been parking. My family has kind of gone all through everything, but I think other than a short stint at coffee and parking, I think that's pretty. I'm stuck with parking.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, and I appreciate you, man. And you bring so much to the team, and it's been great to see the parking team grow the way it has. And it's funny. Like a lot of people, like in our mind, will be like, "Well, it's the parking team; they're helping people park," but really, they're the first impression to the church. And there's so many people that talk about how they felt loved and just excited to be here when it started with the parking team. And so, thank you for what you do. Thank you for your leadership. Um, Now let's talk about longevity because longevity is a tricky thing. As just people in general, we don't like to be uncomfortable. And what naturally happens, I've seen this a lot, is that when people get uncomfortable, we like to bail and go find something that's more comfortable. We see this whether people hop from job to job. We see this in marriages. After that honeymoon stage is gone, the divorce rates go up, right? And so we see these things happen when life gets difficult. A lot of times we hop, and unfortunately, the same thing happens at church. And I know for pastors, the average pastor is at a church for only 2 years, and I think it's really sad because I think you miss out on a lot if you don't plant yourself. And so I want you to talk about that a little bit. You've been here for a long, long time. What keeps you in one place for that long?
Well, I think it wasn't too long ago you guys did on stage a demonstration about planting, right? When you were talking about the tree and you had the illustration. It's so true. If you were to just uproot it and try to stick it down in new soil every few weeks or every few months or even every few years, I mean, what would you really be benefiting anything at all? Not really.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. I think God can water you and grow you really anywhere. I think to say, oh, I need to pick up and move over here or do something different would almost be like not believing in him or not trusting that he's got the power to grow you and you know, wherever you are. So I think relying on him to do a lot of the work and you just staying disciplined is one thing, you know.
Yeah, I think
But you
that's
said too about um, changing it out for the newest or latest thing. Isn't that really what like we've been doing since the beginning of mankind? The Israelites exchanged something really good that God had for them for something they thought was better. And
mm,
you read the Old Testament sometimes, and you're like, "How stupid can you be? Come on, man! He just parted the Red Sea for you." And you're just like, "No, I think I'll carve up a wooden image or something." Or
yeah.
you think you've got something better in mind. And I think all the time we're exchanging something really great that God has for us for something shiny that we think is valuable, but our idea of what's best for us and his idea of what's best for us are usually pretty different, right?
That's so good. Yeah, it's so true. Man, you just triggered a thought that I had. I was just listening to another pastor talk about marriage, and he was talking about how a lot of people throw away their marriage, and whether it's an affair or whatever it is. And he was talking about how so oftentimes what happens is you forget about the 80-20 rule, that for 80% of that person, like, you just love everything about them. And we all have a 20% that is not the thing that we love. But what happens is the enemy sometimes, when we're not in this like high place and everything is, rainbows and butterflies, we start putting all of our focus on the 20%. And we find someone else, maybe in an affair type situation. You find someone else that maybe has this highlighted 20. And so you hop and realize, I just threw away everything. I just threw away 80 for the 20. Um, and I think it's the same way with the church, the bride of Christ. I mean, like, there's a lot of amazing churches out there that are life-giving and that you can plant into. I think the important thing is that you plant, because if you hop, 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 you keep focusing on yourself, right? I mean, like the 20%, I'm looking for this one thing, and then that thing, and then that thing, and there's no perfect church.
I don't remember reading anything about that in the New Testament when they were starting the church about how, you were supposed to just keep looking for a church that would meet your needs. It was
Yeah.
never about that, was it? I don't think that was in the Great Commission, was it? Like, go find a church that meets your needs. And if you don't like it, go to the next one. I don't remember reading that one, do you?
Yeah, no, find the church where you like all the worship songs, you like all the people, and the messages are perfect every time. That's the one you're supposed to go to, right? I mean, I think Paul said that, right? And no, just kidding.
Mm.
Well, that's amazing. So, some practical things, though. I mean, like, the reason why someone would sometimes hop or shift or move or whatever, sometimes is an offense. I mean, I'm sure there's been times where things have rubbed you the wrong way. You're a very laid back guy, but I'm sure that there's a day at some point in the past where Josh Brown was frustrated. How do you get through that frustration and stay planted and say, no, I'm going to be faithful. I'm staying connected where I am.
That's a good one. I mean, though, I think we just said it. If you're focused on me, my needs being met, I think it's easy to see how you want to fail. Go find something that's going to meet your needs. But how often in all those things you just mentioned, your church, your marriage, anything, what since when did those things become about just meeting your needs?
Yeah.
You're not married just to meet your needs. You're there to meet their needs, and
Yeah.
the same thing with the church. I guess if you're thinking about it like, what's in it for me, it's probably just not the right way to be thinking about it. If you're, I guess, there's that old saying too about, like, for the single people, if you're looking for Mr. Right, or Mrs. Right, or Mr. Perfect, stop trying to look for them and start being them. Remember
Yeah.
that saying?
Yeah.
I guess the same thing could apply to churches too. If you're looking for a perfect church, well, stop trying to look for it and you know become it. It's what you bring to it also. So, um, doing your best for God's glory, to serve your church is, I guess, the right way to look at it. But looking at it as, what can it do for me? Is that the right way? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I love that. There's so many people. You see this a lot of times, that, the smaller the church, the less resources you have, or maybe the less ministries on like a micro targeted area you have. And I've had the opportunity to be around some pretty large churches, and the larger the church, the more staff you have, the more resource you have. And it seems like, you'll have, this church over here has this whole ministry just for fourth grade boys, you know what I mean, or something like that. And it's easy sometimes when you're at a church that doesn't offer everything to be like, well, how come we don't have, a ministry just for, ladies who are 30 years old who like to knit? And you're like, well, because we just don't have that. And there is this thing inside of us where it's, if God's putting on your heart, what did I just do?
I
That's
don't know.
what that's amazing. I just created fireworks with my fingers somehow. Um, Thanks, Zoom.
Can I do that?
Um, he got real excited for what I was talking about. But if God's putting it on your heart to do something like that, instead of looking at it as like, oh, this place doesn't have it, I need to go somewhere that does. What if you were the person that helped lead that and really blaze a trail in that church and create something for someone else too? I'm sure there's other people that you would find that want the same thing that you do and create that community right where you are.
So good. So
Speaking
good.
of you and Wendy do quite a few small groups. I mean, tell us about those. Like, how do you connect with people and all that?
That's probably a good an area of growth for me. You know, Wendy prods, and I go, okay. But I love it when she does that. I love it when she pushes me
Yeah,
because I just as soon stay in my shell. And she's like, nope, we need to connect and we need to embrace. Um, and so, yeah, she kind of pulls me out of my shell a little bit to do those, and I love it. I mean, it's really important. We're not just gonna um, create a community by showing up on Sunday. Even if you serve, you're still not going to create a community just by showing up on Sunday and seeing people for a few minutes. It is really important, as we say, to do life with people.
yeah, absolutely, man. I love that. And I love you guys. And so, we have about like 1 minute left, a couple minutes left here. Is there a last thought that you want to share with us on if we're going to stay planted, what do we need to remember?
Be on the spot, man. Oh man, I don't know. Patience maybe would be a good thing. Just not getting too upset and letting your immediate emotional response be "I'm out" or to just get angry, give up, and walk away, but to take a breath and have some patience to talk to God about it, like get down on your knees and talk to Him about it, and He'll probably reveal to you that it was your mindset that was wrong, not really anything that was wrong with that person or place that offended you, right?
Yeah. That's great advice for a marriage as well. I feel like I could have asked you like, what's the best way to just stay connected in your marriage? And that's the answer as well. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head is it's not about us. It's about serving others, serving for me, serving my wife or serving the church. And um, yeah, that's so good, man. Thank you so much for coming on here today.
Thank you, Pastor Mike. We love what you do, and I appreciate you investing in us and trying to grow us.
And well, I'm just thankful I get to be a part of this team and what God is doing here. And I mean, love Pastor Ben and Melissa and their leadership. And so our family is very thankful to be in Jupiter, Florida right now. So listen, I love you. We love all of you guys watching, but get in the chat and say hello to Josh. And we'll see you guys all on Sunday. See ya.